they went from wearing just their Under Armour to having a GoPro to looking like they're in Tron, which I'm happy that I'm happy that somebody
cool.
did say it. They're like, I feel like we're in Tron. Like right away, I was like, this
was freaking cool.
So they have to go through their pass and they end up at a campsite, right? Yeah.
Yes. What up, Challenge fans? We are Final Alliance Podcast. We just finished watching the finale of season 39 of... Wait, not 39.
38.
Felt like 39. 38 of the Challenge. Episode 19 titled The End of the Ride. Phew.
All right. That's it. I've had it. It's never going to happen again. I don't want to hear it. I don't want this argument. I am done. We've said this plenty of times. I don't know how many seasons of podcasts we've done this. You can tell me. I'm along for the ride. I think it's more than 4, but it doesn't. I'm along for the ride. Bill Simmons was the first to say it. Sporting News has endorsed it. There's going to be plenty of podcasts and websites and publications that have that. This is the 5th major sport. I'm not going to listen to any person ever to say to me, oh, it's just a reality show. That was one of the most incredible finals I've ever seen.
Right?
There's no way you can't watch that. If anybody could ever sit there and say, oh, it's just an MTV thing. It's just, it's reality, whatever else. And you can't give 3 hours and fast forward through the commercials for one person that loves athleticism.
Yes.
Can't watch that and go, oh, my
cool.
Lord. That's insane what they just did.
Yeah.
The debate is done. Like, I will never have that time in a tavern the rest of my life when someone goes, I can't believe you. I've seen you and Sarah do that at podcast. I can't believe you guys still watch it. Be like, I don't care anymore. You watch it and then come back and tell me like why it's wrong that we believe that this is like the 5th major sport in America. It was incredible. 3-part series. Is there criticism? Maybe a little bit. But the rest of it, chef's kiss. Unbelievable.
I agree. I thought this episode was great. I loved the way that it went. It's funny. As we always say, we watch together, and you were a little quiet during the finale. So I was kind of like, maybe he doesn't like this, but you were just taking it all in.
Sure, I took a lot of it in, and we'll when we break down just this last episode and then the entire final, we'll talk about it. But yeah, there's some things to take away from it, and I feel like you said, quiet. I took a different emotional journey through the whole thing about it in the end, and we'll get to that, So.
Well, we started hour 69.
Oh, gosh. All right, now we'll start there. Like, that is just, they could have picked 67, 68, or 70,
vintage joke.
And you had to say it, just be like, my favorite hour, like, you know me, like, that stuff, that sophomore humor, that crude stuff, it's not for me. You played softball and you played co-ed softball with the adult males, and I played co-ed softball and I played fast pitch baseball. If I walk into a complex and there is someone on the field purposely wearing the number 69, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah.
100%. And you guys out there on YouTube and listening to podcasts, you all have been there that have been around the softball diamond. You've been like, oh God, that person's wearing 69 or the .08. So the idea, I hate it. Sarah, I just hate it.
I never thought of that.
Yes, I hate that one so much too.
Well, that is terrible.
So to me, it's like, you couldn't have said 68. You couldn't have just said hour 70. Did you have to?
Right. Well, and I mean, like, spoiler alert, I teach junior high kids, so we avoid that number like the plague.
Oh, of course.
Like if something starts, we're saying we're starting at 68.
And it's funny you mention it. And there's a 40-year-old Johnny Bananas who's like, my favorite hour, TJ. Edit that.
You got to tee it up for him. I
guess sometimes, yeah.
So at this point, Nani and Bananas are in first place. Devin and Tori are in second, and Anisa and Jordan are third because Nani and Bananas had taken the lead after their incredible feast
yes.
that they won.
And I have
at
to
the end of last
say,
episode.
I apologize. Last week we were trying to we got confused, and I was like, I think they're in third, but you were right the entire time how the order that it was. So yeah, going back to last week's episode. Yeah,
I wasn't sure if I was, and then when I saw that, I was like, oh hey.
Yeah.
So they arrive at a helicopter. This part I think looks so much fun, but I was surprised on the difficulty level. I thought it was going to be much easier than it was.
Yeah. I would say
because they're only getting
easier.
The success rate is like 50 or less %.
Yes. I was okay. So so because Nani's first, they get to decide the order, and they pick Devin and Tori first, and then
Jordan and
Anisa, and then they get to go. Okay.
Correct.
So
and
of course,
based on their place, they get a different number of chalk bombs.
this makes sense to me, though. Okay.
This part does make sense.
Couple things. All right. First, the name chalk bombs was so messed up because it sounded like TJ was saying chop bombs, think chopper bombs, and then chalk bombs. And then production even knew how messed up it was because they would just say like balls left. Like they didn't even use it. So I'm like, it wasn't until like Bananas, the third round, that I was like, oh, they're saying chalk. Because I kept hearing chop bombs, like, oh, chopper bombs. And it didn't compute. Now, the order was good.
And I like that based on their place, that determined how many different chalk bombs you got.
Because then
Jordan and Anisa had 15,
Yeah.
Devin and Tori had 20, and Bananas and Nani had 25.
Okay.
And got to pick the order.
And in this specific thing, this 50, 40, 20 of how it actually went, and when I say that is, we'll get to that, but I think the order was right, what they picked. I actually thought, right away, I thought Devin's going to be fine because he was so good at that aiming thing.
Same.
But it took him a while, and then when he got it, he's like 2 seconds before you want to throw it.
The timing.
And then he just boom, 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 boom.
Mm-hmm.
So they're at 50%, which is incredible. 10 out of 20. So he did. Nobody else caught on to that. And remember, Jordan and Anisa in the finale with their aiming thing, they were boom, boom. They hit the 2.
Yeah, they had a good aim.
They got 40%. And now also think who had trouble with the aiming in the finale with the golf balls.
Nani.
Nani and Bananas outside of it, Olivia and Horacio. We've covered that. And they only got 20%. So it was a good order. And I just feel like it was weird that I was like so much like, I can't believe Devin hasn't figured this out yet. And like, boom, he just he did it. It just takes a little bit of time.
And it was interesting that some people like they just weren't even exploding.
Yeah, that was one too. Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting too. So Devin and Tori get 10, Jordan and Anisa 6, and then Bananas and Nani get 5. I thought it was cute that Anisa wasn't getting him, so she just gave all of her balls to Jordan. She's like, I need him to be happy. So
happy Jordan. Yeah, happy Jordan is the best way to go.
Like if like we were doing this and I was not having success, why am I going to waste them?
Yeah,
I would just give them to you.
Yeah, it was a good call. Yeah, and he looks over and she's like, "You got this," and you can see that glimmer in his eye. He's like, "Yeah, this is on me. I like that. Yeah, thank you for doing that."
Absolutely. Yeah, because he wants. He likes to be
sure.
individual,
and no one to blame but himself if it happens.
Exactly. Okay, so then now they've got to run through. So wait.
Yeah.
It gets to be nighttime. So it was like they woke up, they did this.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's nighttime.
They woke up, they had to run to the helicopter. We don't know how far that took. It
was 74. So 5 hours. So anyway, whenever they started, it was 5 hours.
Yeah. So 5 hours sleeping. Now, keep in mind, all right, there are other podcasts out there. The only one I really listen to outside of this is Bananas. Last episode, there were 2 challenges in the final they didn't show.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Or I heard that.
So maybe there's something in between. I don't know.
That got cut.
Yeah. But he says, you guys got to go. Based on who finishes first, you have a break. And
it is light out at that point.
You're going to come to a fork in the road. That's when you come to the fork in the road, right?
Correct. You're running, and then you get to a certain point, and there's a fork where you can go left or right, and you're going to have to make a decision.
Yeah. Choose this path for which way you go for.
So they start just on the road, and then they arrive at the corn.
Yeah. They went from wearing just their Under Armour to having a GoPro to having looking like they're in Tron. Which I'm happy that
the glow stuff.
I'm happy that somebody
cool.
like did say it. They're like, I feel like we're in Tron. Like right away, I was like, this is
freaking cool.
So they have to go through their paths and they end up at a campsite, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they're running into the corn maze, and it's all dark. So all they have is like their light on their little forehead, I guess.
No, they had an Iron Man thing here too.
Did they?
Yeah.
And
because I think the GoPro, because a lot of times you could see this.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Not like they were running like this. So sorry, people who are not listening. They were running.
Bumping.
Yeah, the GoPro was right in their chest with the light on because you could see their hands.
Yeah, you're right. And this part, it is a little kind of sketchy to see because it's the GoPro camera that they're using. Because at this point, and I'd heard this on the Official Challenge podcast. At this point, production, camera people, everybody is hiding in the dark in the mazes.
Yeah,
phones away, everything. And we're waiting for the surprise.
But they're not really in the maze yet. They're going to the campsite. They haven't left for the maze yet.
But they're getting into the corn.
Yeah. Okay.
And so then they arrive at a campsite. Tori and Devin go one way. Jordan and Anisa go another way. And then Bananas and Nani go the same way that Tori and Devin went. So then that was really confusing because it's like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
They arrive at this campsite and they're like, oh, I guess we're going to sleep. They're like, I thought we were gonna like do a whole thing.
Yeah.
And then that's when everything gets all lit up and it gets really exciting. I thought that was really freaking cool.
It was really cool.
That was
really,
so cool.
really cool. Again, like going back to what I said opening segment.
Like something out of a movie.
Yeah. If someone was watching this for the first time and they watched 1, 2, and 3 final, not going through all the other nonsense that we do, they would be like, that is awesome.
Yes.
So when that lit up and everything.
And then all of a sudden you hear TJ.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you gotta find me.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, let the games begin. Welcome to my maze. And then they have to go through the maze to get to
the middle of it. Yeah.
And at this point, like it's still dark. It's a corn maze. They're going back and forth. Tori and Devin communicating amazing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Like in Anisa, like this corn
as they've
maze,
been this whole time.
It's like you said. There's people in the dark. The camera people in the dark. They can kind of see lights moving around because they're over there. Production throws you off like before commercial break. They're there. It looks like you're because up above. You're like, oh, just take a left. You're fine. And Anisa says something she's like, this is Children of the Corn. And again, short story time by me.
Oh.
When I was very young, this would have, and I would have liked to have done this, but we talk about would we like to do these things.
Mm-hmm.
When I was very young, my grandfather took me to a place, and it was out in the country, but there was a corn out there, and my grandfather said, like, do you see that corn out there? I said, yeah. He said, if you walk out there, you will go so far deep in there, you will not know north, east, south, or west. You will never find your way back out here. So never make your way into a corn. And I've never gone in a cornfield in my life since then.
Just like traumatized.
Because he told me I'd never come back. I've never detasseled corn. I've never gone in a corn maze. I've never done anything like that. So to me, I'm like looking at it when she's like, and I have seen.
I don't think I've done a corn.
But I'm a little bit older than you, a lot older than you. Have you seen Children of the Corn?
No.
Oh,
maybe
boy.
A little bit.
The original, it's scary as can be. So Anisa,
it's little kids.
Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Malachi. It's So anyway, but like I said, like all I could think about was one, Children of the Corn, and then she mentioned it, and then my grandfather saying like, "You go in there, you're never coming out."
It did seem kind of scary. Like it did like make my heart like because just the dark. I don't love the dark. Who does?
But I think like also the one thing that I didn't expect. I mean, the one thing I did expect that didn't happen was a lot more arguing of like, no, wrong way, turn around. And it just like, hey, wrong way, turn around. That was it.
Except Bananas had quite a bit of a lead on Nani.
That one, yes, okay.
And they just kept getting more and more at each other's throats. And this, her knee is bothering her. They're tired, and she wants him to hold back for her, and he's not. And he's like, "Come on, this is our game. Let's go." And she's just when those two when they get going with each other, it's just like.
Can I talk about something though real quick about this? I understand her point. He doesn't motivate her the same way that sometimes Anisa will say. Anisa also gets annoyed with Jordan. But why is it okay if TJ's up on his throne on a microphone going, this is for $1 million. This is for the challenge. If that was Bananas, she'd be like, I effing know, Johnny. I know it's from. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's telling him, he's like, push it, come find me. It's for $1 million.
Right.
Do you want this $1 million or not? And they're like, yeah, we do, TJ. And as soon as Johnny says it or Jordan says, it's like, hey, knock it off. Don't talk to me that way. And I'm not saying like Anisa did it because Jordan never said that to her. But
no.
But they had a thing. She's like, wait for me. And he's like, no, go now.
Yeah.
Like, this is it. This is the $1 million that we're working for. I mean, keep that in mind.
They're not working together, though. They're not working together. I mean, he's the host.
He needs to be like, I'm going left. I'm going another left or right. But it never really seemed like he came to a fork. But realistically...
And he never asked her opinion on where to go either. He just like went.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, TJ's over the PA. This is for $1 million. And no one's yelling at him. We know, TJ. Shut the F up. So, I mean...
I'm sure there's other cast members that maybe weren't there that would have said that.
Maybe. I don't know. They're going to bring in 4. I feel bad for them that they had to watch that. But, yeah.
Devin and Tori get there first. A little bit later, Bananas and Nany, then Jordan and Anisa. Bananas and Nany then are just still going at each other.
Mm-hmm.
Just still. And Devin, God bless him, he's like, well, if it's any consolation, we've been here for a while.
Yeah, they were not there for a while at all.
It looked like it was like maybe 3 minutes.
He's just... That was...
editing.
That was so passive-aggressive and so good.
It was
so good. It was the perfect time just to be like, when they were just like, oh, frustrated, be like, oh, if it's any consolation. I loved it.
And then they're safe. So Devin and Tori are safe. Bananas and Nany, Jordan and Anisa have to go and do a final zone.
Yeah.
Which I think this is great. I love this.
Mm-hmm.
It's balls in. Classic. What everybody loves. Undisputed, I feel like everybody loves. Like nobody, like Hall Brawl, lots of people have opinions on. Some of the puzzles, people are like, but balls in, it seems like everybody likes in general.
This is
as far as fans.
This goes back to again, dating myself, an American Gladiators thing in 1987 through 1991. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I feel like there's often an injury, and we will talk about this, or an injury in some way or another, or they did this. There's always a controversy, usually like, no, they did this and they couldn't do it. But either way, I get it. I liked it. We were both confused. We had to figure this out.
We were both very confused. So the new thing is there was the rope around the actual bin.
Yeah.
And that was new to us. And I'm thinking, when I saw it, I'm like, okay, so this is to prevent some sort of injury situation. That's what my initial thought was.
Yep, mine too.
And they said it was a no tackle zone.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not quite how it went down completely, because it still confused us.
Yes.
Women go first, and Nany jukes Anisa a little bit, gets in the rope, and misses the bin.
Yeah, she's going for it, but it's almost like a shot. So it's off to her right, and she's trying to place it in, but it's still not close up. It's still about maybe a foot and a half, you would say, and off the rim.
Right.
And so it's no good because she loses the ball. You lose the ball, it's out.
Adrenaline, nerves, something, you know. And then Anisa goes, she drops the ball.
Mm-hmm.
They're wrestling with each other. They're scrappy.
No, Anisa goes, sorry, not Anisa.
Nany.
Yeah, Nany goes right after her, goes for a sweet double leg takedown.
Yeah.
It attacks the way she should have. And that first one, I think, was really good, and she lost the ball.
Absolutely.
So
they hit us with Here Comes the Boom by POD.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty good. I like that for this. I don't know that I would put it on our challenge mix, but it worked. They had stated in regards to Anisa and Nany that they have different skills. Anisa's more of a strength player. Nany says she's fast and more agile. There is obviously a little bit of a size difference. And then Bananas says in regards to him and Jordan that they're pretty evenly matched.
I would agree. I would agree with that.
I honestly, obviously we know how it ended up, but I, in my mind, consider Jordan to be better at that kind of thing. The wrestling background.
Okay, all right.
Even though we've watched him lose two of these this season.
Okay, so case in point here. What you're saying, I can agree with it, but when you're having Bananas say it, he's not going to elevate him there, so he's going to say we're even. He may put in his brain, Jordan's proved himself in this, but
Right.
we're even here. So keep that in mind, who the person is that's on the other side of the camera.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Bananas gets the first point
Yeah.
pretty easily. Then Jordan goes. He gets the first point pretty easily.
Yeah.
And this is where we notice the situation with the rope, because the women were clearly trying to like clear the rope
Mm-hmm.
before putting the ball on the bin. That was what they're, especially Nani. But the men, it was more like an end zone.
Yeah.
Where they were trying to just, as long as I get the ball into the rope,
yeah,
I'm good.
I can stretch across and make it in there and not lose the ball.
Right.
I'm in. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So.
And that could, and then it went back to the women and they were doing the same thing. And it just, that was confusing for us.
Yeah, that's where, yeah.
Because I'm like, wait, why are they not stopping the women?
Because Nani got in there again, and then Banana says, like, just stop. And she says, I know. And he's like, what? He's like, just stop in there. Like, so, and then, yeah. This is way too much confusing. Still, even though we rewound it and we figured it out,
we had to go
still,
back
like,
and watch the instructions again.
How do you not stop? How does he not? Why is he always blowing the whistle for the men? Be like, oh, you're in. And I understand they were on the ground. I do.
Right.
But it still was like.
It was. For the women, it was kind of like. What?
Yeah. So Anisa goes, and this is where. I don't know. This is the foreshadowing by production. I didn't appreciate this next one.
Well,
by
Nani
production.
misses again.
Yeah.
And then Anisa goes. Nani goes for her legs. As she should. And even Anisa in her interview was like, yeah, I mean, what's she going to do? Of course.
So I had said to you before, and I'm like, not diabolical, not malicious, but she's going to hit her low. She already hit her once. I'm like, she's going to hit her low. She has to. Because you have to stop. Like, isn't
that pretty textbook?
Well, she already said, Anissa's like, I'm bigger than her or whatever else. You have to take out the legs or something like that. It's period. Like you.
Yeah.
And so.
What's she gonna do? Get on her back?
And then production's like, do you feel like it was like wrong for her to do it? And she's like, well, that's what she has to do. Anisa gives the right response, like the genuine one. Production was feeding into for her to be like, yeah, I thought it was low class, so that they could have it for the reunion. There's no doubt about it in my mind. I don't care. There could be someone on production that could call in or be like, or hit you up on DMs and be like, no, I want to be on the show, or whatever else, and be like, this is what we did. I don't think I could be convinced. You don't ask a leading question like that without thinking it's going somewhere. And Anissa's like, what she do? What else should we do? Should she do? Yeah, so,
well, I think that's what they're always trying to do. They want,
But why have the dialogue on down there? The text.
Oh yeah. You
just go like, just be like, all she has to do is go like, no. All you have to say is, I don't think she deliberately did it, and here's why. Because I believe her as a competitor, she has to do what it takes to win. Because there's only 3 left. Not like, do you think that? It was a leading question. That's exactly, and we
leading the witness.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Yeah. Overruled. Sustained. Whatever it is. Yeah.
Nani gets one. Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I think it's over. Like, I'm still kind of confused as to like how many we need to get. Like,
yeah.
Anisa hurts her knee though when it's her turn. Or Anisa hurts her knee playing defense for Nani.
Yes. She said, give me the ball. Yeah. And
then she's like, just give me the ball. And Nani, does what she's supposed to do and plays defense, and it sucks because, she knows her friend is hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And you could hear when I heard Anisa scream afterwards, after Nani got the ball, I'm like, okay, she's really hurt. And that sucks. Bananas gets the ball in, and then lastly, Jordan drops the ball.
Yeah, last uncontested, which was weird. Sorry, TJ, we love you. I do love you. And that when he said like last uncontested one wins, that dialogue's too much to understand, because at that point,
tell me how many points we need.
Yeah, at that point I was like, oh, I was like, it took me a while to process the uncontested, because I was like, oh, Nani got it in, it's over.
That's what I thought too.
Like overtime, and then so it came down to that, and so Johnny just said like, I took off my long sleeves. I need something to grab on. He didn't. I knew I could hold on to something and keep him out of there, and that's what happens, So
that was smart.
Yeah,
it really was. Yeah, absolutely. Jordan and Anisa. Jordan telling Anissa's like, I'm so sorry, and he says she's a fighter, and there's no need to say sorry. You did your best out there. That was really nice. I liked
I
that a
thought
lot.
all
That
of it was
very
nice.
sweet.
I think their montage, Simply the Best, really showed the highlights of the season. That
Yes,
I mean, we're on episode
19.
Yeah, episode 19. So you're looking at 5 months of us almost doing this.
Yeah,
right? There's a lot to forget.
October.
Yeah, there's a lot to forget.
For
okay.
sure.
Now, keep in mind, for those who are listening and who have been loyal followers, thank you very much. For those of you new, thank you very much as well. There are times where I have said, and sometimes you've agreed with me, like, Anisa is going to be a great producer for the show someday.
Oh, my God, yes.
She knows how to create drama. She knows she has the vision for it. Maybe that's it. And watching that montage, I'm like, she's got it.
Yeah.
She still got it. She doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
So for me to be like, I don't need Anisa anymore. She could go be a producer. She's going to be great for the show. She's perfect. I think she's great in the landscape of everything challenge. But for me to actually think that she should hang up that Under Armour Anisa challenge thing, she proved me wrong. That was really, I thought the montage was great because I watched it and I was like, oh my gosh, look at the things they did together. Yeah. Not just she did. And Jordan, I mean, he never disappoints, but she was so good in that. And so she still got it. So, hey, take some time. If you want to come back.
Rehab the knee.
Yeah. Knee, ankle, all that stuff. If you want to be, honestly, MTV Productions, hand her a producer role in a second. Give her a job. I mean, you've already given her a podcast job. Give her a producer because she understands good television.
But she's at this point where she's still able to compete. She wants to compete. Let her compete.
Absolutely. She's proved that she can do it. And it's got nothing to do with like, will Jordan have my back? Or she's like, now I feel this way or what else. I'm telling you, as a fan, someone who actually was critical of like, she probably shouldn't be there. She should move on to different things. And even like All-Stars, nope, I'm good. That montage, perfect. And it didn't have anything to do with production. That was really her. She gave them the video. They didn't make video out of her and make it a big thing. They just used the right song out of Tina Turner. So.
And she's good for the show as far as like interviews and kind of the, I don't want to say motherly role, but big sister role to a lot of different people, helping them find their way in the show too.
I agree with that, the big sister, but she also has that. You watch The Office? Did you watch The Office?
Of course.
She has that Jim Halpert, that side eye look at the camera sometimes, where it's like, told you, like without even like in the middle of the conversation, she knows to find the camera and be like, "Yep, told you."
It's true.
Yeah. So she knows how to work everything.
Of course.
So keep bringing her back. I'm in. I'm glad to. I love to say when I'm wrong, and I'm glad to say like that she should be back.
All right, you heard it here first.
That's right.
So you're just like super Anisa fan.
I'm not an Anisa fan. I'm just saying that I would never look at the roster of anything going forward, All-Star or season 39 or whatever else, anything, and go, Anisa's here. I'll never do that again. Because I'll go, she deserves to be there, no matter what. I don't care if it's All-Stars. I don't care what it is that they put. Whatever they do in this franchise, I will never sit there and say like, nah, she's not for me, because I think she did a phenomenal job.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. I concur. Now they get to go to sleep. We're on hour 92 when they wake up.
Okay, can we talk about this campsite thing? These two campsites. He makes them go to different campsites, right?
Yeah, you were really thought it was.
Well, it's not about that. Like, now you're going opposite directions. That part, I wasn't it. Why were there 4 tents in each one of them?
So they weren't actually tents, because I thought that at first too. Those were just like light up things.
No.
Triangles.
There were 4 tents in each one, and then there were light up triangles. Go back and look at it.
Really?
Because remember when they were running, in case all 3 went to the same direction?
Oh, right.
That's it?
Because when it looked like...
Okay. 3 teams still make 6. Where does the 8 come from? Why is there 4? Like, why? I think there were more.
Both of them had 4 tents?
Yeah. Yeah, they both had 4 tents.
Were they?
Maybe they had more.
Were they like toilet tents?
Maybe, or maybe, yeah. poop the bed. You have somewhere else to go. Good night's sleep. I don't know. It just kind of threw me off. No, the one thing I know what you're getting at when they're like, okay, now go your opposite direction. And Tori's like, I'm definitely going with TJ. And he's like, nope, go that way. Then figure your way back. But and then same thing with Anisa. New knee, new ankle. Hey, MTV, don't make her just walk off. Like, figure something out. Because there's no way they could have had any type of ambulance get there, by the way. It had to be completely hidden beyond the thing.
Right.
And there probably was behind the big,
right.
which they never named that, did they? That big thing he was in?
The stage, the final zone.
There had to be some type of ambulance thing in between there. So maybe she got a ride out of there. I don't know.
There's probably a trailer there, too, for, like, production.
She did walk back on later. She was fine.
She wasn't fine, but she was able to still walk.
Yeah.
I mean, you've known people that have had hurt knees that need surgery that you could still walk on it, but like, it's not
Sure.
a good vibe.
No, not in the middle of a cornfield. Absolutely not.
Oh yeah, that's also
'Cause
the uneven ground.
Remember when she had to run?
Uneven ground did not work for her
No.
earlier. These people are monsters.
They are. They really are. Like, she's like, hey, remember? And they're like, yeah. Well, then they're like, no. That was 92 hours ago minus the 8 hours because we did the math for you.
That
Jeez.
killed me. It said 92 hours, and then it went to
8 hours.
8 hours remaining, and I'm
Yeah.
like, phew!
Yeah.
Thank God you helped me with that math.
Yeah, thanks, MTV.
Oh.
Yeah. Ugh. We're all learning something here.
Then all of a sudden there's 3 hours left and it's dark out. So I don't know. Okay, whatever. Maybe there was something else that happened.
It had to be that they were just like, you have your 5 hours to
They
sit
wanted
here.
the hour, or they wanted the dark because it's exciting. They get to it's a final zone. The teams are facing off, and it's called Level Up. TJ's so sweet. He's like, you're not doing this alone. Jordan and Anisa are here to watch you, and Olivia and Horacio are here to watch you, which that was really cool. I liked that.
Okay.
You didn't like
Yeah,
that?
to cheer 'em. Well, is that what you want to do for 3 hours? Stand there and watch other people win $1 million? Or just, I mean, it's not like there was a lot of cheering. It's just like,
There was like no instruction. They must have told him like not to tell people what to do.
no, it was just like, you got this, you're doing well, and a couple things. I mean, do you want to do that for 3 hours?
Well, I mean, they were all obviously still there because they had to do their like post-production interviews.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it kind of added something. They had some, they had their own little side interviews, and to win. I mean, it's always going to be amazing to win. The challenge always going to be amazing to win $1 million, but then to have other people there to like hug and congratulate you right afterwards.
Sure.
That's
And
nice.
yeah, I guess we'll figure out. Yeah, 3 hours is worth $38,000. So yeah, I guess we'll.
Yeah,
we
no
can do-
kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that math?
Yeah.
So there's 4 different rooms, and these are all, I believe, based on different eliminations that had happened. Like the first one was easily the Fessy Nelly elimination, where you got it's like a pole with an arrow on the end. You got to get it out of the drywall. There were 9 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was the 200 cinder block puzzle.
And then
through
just
the wall
sand.
with the sand,
Yeah.
and then the chain release.
Yeah. Oh yeah, chainless. Yeah. So
started out pretty even with the drywall. Nani and Bananas were in the lead, but
yeah, I think it was 9 to
Nani and
7.
Bananas win
When they
that
got on 9 in, I think it was 9 to 7, 9
I mean
to
it
6.
was close, but Nani and Bananas took it. Then we go to the 200 cinder block puzzle. This looked grueling.
Yeah, is it or just cringy? Because of the Nani's and banana thing, like going back and forth.
Well, I mean, if you have to redo it, obviously it's going to be worse.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy. I mean, your body's exhausted from 3 days of this at this point. You're on day 4.
Yeah, I get it. I not in that situation, but I think it's more like the communication here, and
yeah, their
going
communication was bad, and
and
then
trying to figure it out. And well, I'll just go do this. No, you just do your job, and they're just not really getting along in this whole thing. I mean, I still don't really understand. I understand the cinder block, like how the image is supposed to look,
right,
but like on the sides, I don't know. I don't
Right.
I don't understand what was going on.
there were some that had nothing on them. There were some that had the part of the puzzle that was going to recreate saying challenge,
Mhm.
and then there were some that had maybe something only on the bottom or something only on the top.
Yeah.
And so it was very clear that obviously communicating with each other as you're placing them in different spots was key, because things could get lost in the cinder block pile. They hit us with one headlight by the wallflowers. Yeah.
No, it's not making the list. I'm sorry.
It's a song I remember like always being played, like, you know, the pool in the summertime, they'd have like the pop radio station playing.
Like 2000, 1999, 98, 90, 2000.
This was earlier than that.
No, it can't be any earlier than 97. Sorry. Jacob Dylan? No, I mean, I know he was at the, no. But it doesn't matter. I know what you're saying.
97, I was like 11.
21,
12.
21, maybe 96. Yeah. So anyway, it's not going to make the list for me. I would strongly say,
kind of worked with this just being like a grueling part of the final and just kind of a dull moment in regards to Bananas and Nany. So Bananas and Nany Tori and Devin are looking and they see that Bananas and Nany have it screwed up.
Yes. Like
they're like, do you see this? Do you see this?
Single row that's all solid. That doesn't need to be the two in the middle. That should have been the point of the diamond of the challenge at the very bottom, and then solid probably bricks on the outside in. So,
so it was the very bottom row is where they'd screwed up. So it's like they would have to redo all of it, and at that point they'd almost finished it. They realized they gotta go back and correct it. Tori and Devin do make a great choice in the one that they're working on is facing an opposite direction of the one that Nany and Bananas can see. So Nany and Bananas cannot see their puzzle to, use as a key. Then when they work on the other side, Bananas and Nany see, oops, this is what we did.
Yeah.
Try to correct it. But unfortunately, there's one brick that had
just solid. Oh yeah, just one solid color that they needed to go on the other side, and it's buried somewhere
in the middle.
Yeah,
and that was heartbreaking. It really was. Like watching. I mean, that just sucks. You just saw like the defeat on their faces. But at the same time, I was very impressed with Devin and Tori.
Okay, well, we can go both sides of this now. You can't go run a maze and scream it's $1 million. You can't spend an entire season saying, like, I've worked for this, or you know what the money could do for me, or my mom's looking down on me, or I'm doing this all for her, and just go, I'm spent, my back hurts. He's like, again, I couldn't believe Bananas just like, my back's effing killing me. And I know her knee was, you can still rip it down. You never know what's in the middle there.
Right.
All right. You can rip it down off the side.
They did see that they were almost done. But yeah, it was kind of.
Where's TJ at? TJ's just like, oh, you're gonna let him watch, and he doesn't go, I hate quitters.
I'm wondering if TJ hates quitters is something of the past. We haven't seen him talk about being upset with people quitting in a long time.
No, he hasn't. You're right. Yeah. So to me, I was like, I'm not good about this. And again, thank you for paying attention, for subscribing, listening to all these podcasts. Like, I'm a Bananas fan, but right now I was like, you got to be kidding me. You're just gonna go, yeah, I'm not gonna take this down. And he's like, she's got this glazed look over her eye. No, Tori said she's got this look in her eye. She's done. No, I'm just gonna keep going. But she can have tears later. Like, that stuff just isn't for me. Really, it really isn't. Like, to just quit on that whole thing. Like, you never know what you can uncover to find that one.
It did kind of seem. While I'm very sympathetic to them, because it's like you screwed up once, okay, you try to fix it, and then you realize you screwed up again, and their lead is going so much further, than it previously was, and that feeling very defeated, like you just lost it, like you screwed it up, like there's no chance to win. I get that, but it did also seem like what you're saying, like they just were like, I guess that's it then.
4-part final challenge, right? 4 parts.
4 days?
No. I'm just saying in the zone.
Yeah.
Final zone. They get through. They get through the spears. Part 2. First thing I say to you is, this is not going to go well for Bananas and Nany.
Yeah.
The thing, but there's still 2 more.
Right.
Anyone, you never know. And maybe there's a story here and there, because we haven't really seen too much where Tori says, or Devin goes, I'm very claustrophobic. I don't like this.
Or something. Yeah.
Or they get caught up in the chains. Where there's still stories in there in the middle of the of 3 and 4 of the zone, and there's like, now we're just gonna watch it. Is that what you want to do? Out of all that, you want to watch $1 million go away or whatever? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it was a tough one, and I don't really have much empathy for the tears or Bananas afterwards saying like, oh, I did this for her and everything else, or she's like, I gave.
I think it was genuine.
I'm not saying it's not genuine, but I also think it should be like right in that moment, not afterwards when you're clean, showered, shaved the way you need to be, and got the clothes on that you want, and then you have to do it now for a camera. I mean, you can do it at time, and there was a little bit of time that was genuine. He's like, I'm sorry, now. He's like, don't apologize. But the rest of it, I don't need any of that.
That also could be like looking back. You're like, man, I really like crap the bed on that one. You know what I mean? The regret, it's
a puzzle. And at that point, come on, your history of a puzzle, Bananas hasn't been that good. Nani, you came across that last one in the final. She saw it ahead of it. Hey, it's going to be like that. But I don't know her history of puzzles. But then stop bickering and be like, hey, this is the time we need to lock it down and really focus, because this is where we could lose some ground if we don't focus together.
Yeah.
Instead of talking the way they do to each other. Yeah. Blood is thicker than water, and we're thicker than blood. Okay. And that was the line that Banana said about those two.
I heard that. Yeah.
I'm glad you did. We were watching it together. I was making sure that we were
watching the same show.
Yeah.
It seems pretty quick and easy that Devin and Tori get through the sand. They are working together beautifully, as they have been. They get to the chains. They say it feels like they're doing the chains for a long time. It didn't look like it was that long, though. And they're starting to get excited, but they're like, they don't want to celebrate too early. They're like, oh my God. As Tori says in her interview, she's like, are we really this close to winning? Tori and Devin win.
Yeah, pull it together, walk out.
Which I think is a good story. These two both have come so close and not ever won before. Devin's been often overlooked.
Yeah.
Thought of as a layup, used the layup as a strategy several times. Tori's had her own struggles, personal and just within the game, where she's come up short. It was beautiful. And they played Eve 6 Here's to the Night.
Yeah.
That was one of our homecoming themes.
Oh, yeah.
And it was sweet. And then Jordan talking about how happy he is for Tori and how he still loves her. And even though there were several episodes that I was like, I have had enough.
Yeah.
It came kind of full circle for me. I see what you did there.
Couple things we've mentioned.
Got me a little teary.
We mentioned earlier in the this show, the podcast about the show, Tori, and how open she has been about things, and anybody dealing with anything that needs to, don't ever feel uncomfortable having to take medication or to talk to someone.
Absolutely,
that's good. Devin has come full circle because he's no longer. I mean, he may be, but smoking cigarettes, the Heineken swilling guy, and that's okay. You can be that person, but it was more like he was a personality over an athlete, and he realized he had to do things. And that so many people have. Look at Bananas has changed his life, his body to be able to perform. Wes has. Go down the list, and Devin's now on it. That they've realized if they want to be part of this game, they have to do it. But that being said, about Tori overcoming that and Devin overcoming that, this was. I may always say I forget last season, the season before. I don't go back and watch a lot of them. This was the perfect game. They played the perfect game.
Yeah, I agree.
The only thing I took out of this, when I am like, this is the perfect game, when Devin's like, it takes this and that, and it takes a lot of luck, and I was like, no. And it made me think of Dan Gable. Dan Gable said, no, there's no such thing as luck. You make your own luck because you worked hard. There's no luck. Yes. You worked hard. This was in all the seasons that I can remember. But again, I forget real quick.
Right.
I move on. This was the perfect season. There wasn't any luck. Their social game was great. They made deals when they needed to.
They went in the first elimination.
Yes.
I mean, that could have been a really...
They made deals when they needed to. They didn't... Keep in mind when the chopper, the chalk ball, They didn't turn around and say like, Nani says we have to go against our truce. They didn't go like, I can't believe they went against our truce. They just kept forging forward. That's a big deal to not be when you're in the final in the last how many hours, 30 hours, to not go, well, I can't believe you didn't stick to our truce. Like you want to hold thing. They just kept going like, okay, and return the favor. They go, we'll return the favor. And so it really truly was the perfect season. How's that? Not the perfect game.
Yes.
The perfect season. And I'm sure there's single seasons out there that are perfect, but for a duo, it's not easy to do.
Yeah, this was beautiful.
And there was never really like that moment, the bickering, like, oh, I hate you, or blah, blah, blah. It was, he saw Jordan coming. He's like, oh, I feel bad for my partner, but I'm here for you. And he roomed with Johnny. It was seriously, to me, the perfect season.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They were such a, not to sound cheesy, but like an inspirational pair.
Yeah.
Or more of us, like people would aspire to be partners like those two were with each other.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I agree with that. I think what lacked in production at the end was who would have known we get here? We were on season 2 or whatever else. I don't know. I didn't watch that, but that was way too quick.
I know they could have drawn that out a little.
They
bit
really
more.
could have drawn out.
They could have shown when they disagreed.
When they disagreed, they could have shown where she was fighting with other people, or he was getting kicked off a show, do whatever else, and like how they kind of got to this point. I would have liked to seen that a little bit more, because I know what they've done in the past, because I can the highlights, I can be like, oh, I remember that. I'm never gonna bring it up, but like get to where they're at to be like, it's a good story
for sure.
And again, I can't give them enough accolades about how good it was. Usually, I'm the first to be like, Bananas didn't win. I don't care. But I was really, really into this.
It really was.
Yeah.
It really was. It made you feel good. And then they start playing Modest Mouse, Float On, and they've played this on either this one or on All Stars, and I just love that song. I love that song. It's one of my favorite songs for whatever reason. It just makes me happy. And this is when Devin says, "Hey, last season, CT and Casey, gave some of their proceeds or their winnings,
money,
to everybody else in the final, and we want to, set a precedent for that. So we're going to give everybody who's here $38,000. This is season 38.
Okay.
I thought that was nice.
No. I'm going to give them, again, more flowers, more accolades on everything they're doing, okay? CT and Casey won, and they got to decide how the profits are split.
Right.
And he's like, here's how it's going to go.
Yeah, it wasn't like their choice.
Yes.
Well, no, it was their choice. They could have done 0.
Yeah, they could have done 0. But there was nothing else. It was there. And he said the people standing there, keep that in mind. That's Olivia and Horacio, not even the top 3.
Right.
So that's.
I even looked at you. I was like, wait, Olivia and Horacio get it
said,
too?
Everybody standing here gets $38,000. And,
did the Oprah joke.
Yeah. So you said like earlier, like, well, do the math. That's $11,000 an hour for standing there for 3 hours. Yeah. I mean, just
worth
a little
it.
under. Yeah, just a little under, but yeah, worth it. So, and TJ's like, that's awesome, dude. Good for you. And he's like, yeah, we just want to continue doing something like this. And it was the right thing to do. And not that I don't even say when I say the right thing to do. It came out of nowhere. Yeah.
Awesome.
Came out of nowhere. It adds a different wing to Devin's legacy, because he had somewhere, times where people thought he was abrasive and rude and everything else. It's a different wing to his, because now he came out and said it, and who knows where the conversation was with him and Tori, and they'll probably come out in the reunion like, when did you guys decide to do it? Like, well, we thought we were just kind of sitting there for 5 hours and then talk about like, wouldn't it be cool if we just did it? And Tori's like, yeah, let's just do it, But they didn't know, they had to go off to the side because they didn't know that Jordan, Anisa, and Horacio and Olivia were going to be there. So they had to be
in like a restroom break.
Yeah, they had to be like, yeah. Well, speaking of restroom breaks,
or something.
What's wrong with TJ? She can't fart and pee a little bit? Man, did he give her the side eye to Tori. Speaking of restrooms,
dude, he just like
acted
like she said nothing.
Yeah, sorry to go back 35 minutes into the show, but she's like,
that was weird.
She comes running in, and she's like, and he's like, you're the first here. She's like, oh, thanks, TJ. She's like, I gotta fart. I just peed a little bit, and he looked at her like, what the heck? Anyway,
We love you, TJ, but you have not been out there. I mean, you've had your breaks. You've had
Relax,
full sleep.
dude. Yeah.
You've gotten to shower.
Yeah, at least you
Let
didn't
the
like
woman
try to blame
toot
it on the
and
dog.
tinkle
yeah,
in peace.
yeah. But yeah, so it was very nice of them to do that. It really was.
It really was great. It was. I wonder how that works because from what I've seen on television shows, like Weeds and stuff, if you give someone a donation of what, like less than or more than $8,000, more than whatever, it's got to be reported, taxed, and stuff. So I don't know how that's going to work.
It's all
out. So
tax, yeah.
let us know how that worked out.
I actually don't. I don't care. It only comes out to this amount of money. So 38. They have to because I don't really want to hear someone be like, "Oh, the government takes all of it anyway." Like I don't care. It's a nice thing.
Put it in the comments for me though, just because I'm a dork and like to hear that.
Sure.
He doesn't have to read it. You can just skim it.
Move on.
So yeah, great episode. I mean, it kind of seems weird to just be like, who won the episode? Because I feel like Tori and Devin.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you want to do a 1A, 1B, a little bit more Devin than Tori. I mean, he had great sound bites in the whole thing and really talked well. Never talked down to her.
So well
they walked.
together.
I don't even want to do a 1A, 1B. You're right. It's just those two. They won the episode. Yeah,
Dave.
Yeah, you get you.
Dave.
You're allowed to. You're approved to say that. Yeah.
They said. So.
Yeah.
Lost. It's got to be Bananas, right? Or Bananas and Nani.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with that. I don't know what pinpoint either one gets it as a loss. What they did, where I'm like, it's that's about it. So, yeah, it's I'll give it more to Bananas because not only was it time to, it's the bricks for me. It really is.
Yeah,
you can find it still. You can still go and to be like, no, we're just gonna quit and watch.
Well, it's like thinking about like who else was there. Poor Horacio was trying to still do this after after his ride or die was like leaving in an ambulance, and he's like, I'll do double, I'll do it by myself, crying,
and they're
like,
watching.
Please let me do this, and he's like, my
Bananas
back hurts.
will sit there and say, you know how many people want to be on the show, how many people with this not, and you want to quit after like first, second episode or whatever else, and all these people are asking for it, and you had 4 people watching you that would kill to be in your situation. You go, yeah, I'm not going to tear it down. It's going to take forever. It's just not for me. It's not a good look, honestly. So,
Yep.
And then tear up about it later. I didn't. So yeah, I'm sorry. It's all Bananas to me. I didn't like his tearing up in his confessional, but it doesn't matter. I'm still a Bananas fan, but I feel like I can be critical. I think I've been there since day one. So
you have,
yeah.
And coming from you,
yeah.
The cringe is probably what we just talked about. Cringeworthy moment.
What, that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's when I started.
Or the hour 69.
Well, it's just sophomoric dumb humor. Yeah, sure.
Only you and my dad have I ever heard people call something sophomoric.
I'm an old soul.
He was also a history major, so maybe that's like it's like day one of like history major school.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean that's it. Other than best line.
I don't know. Devin had one good in there. I can't remember what it was.
If there's any consolation, we've been here a while.
Yeah, that made me laugh. I do like the nonverbal. I liked finally because the 5 minutes I couldn't believe. Okay, so you remember when the thing about best line? You know when there's like, okay, you get to figure out the order you get to go. So Devin and Tori get to go, and then Anisa and Jordan get to go. You're trying to tell me for 5 minutes, Bananas didn't say something to TJ. They didn't have an interchange in between that could have been funny. Right. And all we got was the high five, which still made us laugh.
High five was cute.
Yeah, it still made us laugh because of nonverbal. So that I was good. But I'm like, I was really looking forward to an interchange in between those two.
It could have been his time to talk about the dog that he would pet every day in Argentina.
Yeah, they've always got a good rapport.
Yeah.
And 5 minutes on any podcast that TJ and Bananas have, you're going to laugh about something because they make each other laugh so hard. So, yeah. But, yeah, I don't know if there's a...
I liked TJ's look at the very end where he had like the beanie and then like the black hat. It was like giving me like some 90s vibes, and I liked it. I was like picturing almost like a Jared Leto kind of situation.
His pea coat and a beanie, like an offshore
I don't
fisherman.
know. Yeah, I don't know. It was just. It was.
Don't.
It was a good. It was a vibe. I like.
Don't go into cornfields, kids. That's the lesson I got out of it. It's a good. Listen, it's a good season. Okay, and as much as like I don't get like emotional about things, but ride or die. I will say this, Sarah. It's been very fun doing this with you.
It
We will continue to do
has.
this as long as we can, as long as our lifestyles will allow us to. But I mean, in this time, I mean, it's got to be 5 seasons. We've done different things. I mean,
37.
38 All Stars.
38
We got to be at 4.
All-Stars USA.
Yeah, we got it 4 or 5.
That's 4.
Yeah, but in that time, still, I mean, in 2 years, in over 2 years, whatever else, I've been through
1
a
year.
lot. What?
1 year.
No, we've been doing this. Well,
August of 21.
all right. Either or, in that amount of time.
Mhm.
A lot of stuff's been going on through my life, and I appreciate that time. I really do, spending it with you.
Same.
As much as you and Klinger, our producer, love him to
Also
death.
my husband.
Husband, yeah. You guys may be like, oh, we got to do this on a Wednesday. He's coming over. How late's he going to stay talking to us? We got things to do, and as
No,
much
I
as
love it.
yeah,
I like it better when I can drink alcohol.
It's
but yeah.
it's good. It's good to do these things with you guys because it is a break on reality, and so I do appreciate it. So I'm happy to say that I would like, I'm that nobody else I would rather have to be my challenge podcast, ride or die. So
Quit it, you.
yeah.
I'm emotional. Don't make me cry.
don't don't get
Aw, that was so sweet. Thank you. My birthday's on Friday. It was like an early
Oh,
present.
your birthday's on Friday. That's so cute. Yeah.
I do have the only tea I have. Well, I have 2 things. 1, Ashley did an interview. She doesn't typically do those.
Yeah, you sent me a text about this. I didn't click that link. Yeah, fill me in on this.
Most likely to she does lots of interviews, but
Did you say she doesn't normally do this, but she does?
No, Ashley doesn't normally do interviews. Most likely to she does. She gets everybody for interviews.
Oh, on her podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I got you. I'm with you.
I'm about halfway through. I miss her, man. I hope Ashley comes back. Like, she's just so unfiltered.
Yeah.
And it's refreshing. And, ooh, she just, like, she's not necessarily spilling a lot of tea, but, like, it's highly entertaining what I've heard her say so far. So, recommend you check that out.
All right, I'll find some time to. She falls into the category, and I've mentioned this before.
I know you're not a huge fan.
No, I just don't like the category of I wear my heart on my sleeve because, and then automatically that gives you a warrant to just be an asshole. That I can't stand people that go, I just wear my heart on my sleeve, and you're like, no, you're just gonna be a jerk now, and you'd be like, I'm sorry. I get unfiltered. I get that. I get like I want to talk about things, but realistically, I think there's 2 sides to that. So there might be the person where it's just like, hey, I'm not going to hold anything back just for the sake of someone else in the show. That part I get, being unfiltered. But I do think she's the type of person I feel, I don't know, think or whatever else, I could be wrong, but that says like, oh, I just wear my heart on my sleeve. I can't handle that because I just think automatically you're just going to be a jerk, just be a jerk and be like, what? It's like saying like
I don't think
it's like saying no offense. What
you're gonna say something offensive.
I said no offense. So yeah,
she does a lot of not excuses, saying this is something I'm working on. I tend to go to anger, and when I'm angry, I will cut someone hard with something that I know is gonna hurt them, and I'm working on that. And she's like, I think that's something I'm gonna have to continue to work on. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think. Give it a whirl.
Yeah, good. I mean, sharp tongue is another thing for that. Yeah, and I actually know a little bit about that. So yeah, it might be good to hear what she's working on. So yeah,
it might be your dream girl. You don't even know it.
No.
And then the ad for Challenge Global came out today. The picture. I got to show you the picture. The picture is freaking cool. Oh my god, it's so good. And we'll put it up on the screen, of course.
And this is going to be on Paramount Plus or CBS?
Paramount Plus, starting March.
Oh, how do we forget? Yeah, because then they do this like
exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Yeah. How do we forget all this? Yeah.
I can't find where all my apps are. Oh my god, this is taking me way too long. We're gonna edit part of that out. Look at that promo. So it's got Tori, Bananas, Danny, Justine, and then this is some woman named Kiki. From I think Challenge Australia. And I think the other ones leading up are going to be on Paramount Plus as well. I know you're not going to waste your time with that, but I'll do a little bit of watching just to kind of, like a little bit of spring training.
Okay.
if you will, to kind of get to know the characters, because there's UK, Argentina, and Australia as well.
They're just gonna kill these guys. Like, it's not even gonna be close. Like, they're gonna have to do something to break these. I'm sorry, and we'll talk about this. Like, we will speculate when we do a, like you said, preseason type of thing or a pre-podcast, but it's not gonna be close. Sarah,
We'll see. I mean, I don't know, because what we saw in the one preview with my man Danny was he was talking about the Australian team. So at that point, I'm thinking, are they in teams based on where they're from?
Well,
if that's the case, that's not going to last. They can't
no, they got to split that up and break it up.
It's only going to be 12 episodes. The first week is 2 episodes.
Yeah. It's not
going to... And then you're going to be paired up with somebody with a quote-unquote challenge grade. That's why Bananas ends up getting paired up with Justine.
Okay. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It has to be broken up because we saw the last time the whatever we watch it, the World, or I don't even care.
CBS.
Yeah, the CBS one, and everybody quit but the champions. Like, it's not even going to be close. Mm-hmm. And I don't care if they sequester them for a year and make them watch every single episode of everything else. They're still not ready for it. They're just not ready. Again, going back to the beginning,
filming time for all of them was so much shorter. Yeah. Like UK, I think filmed in like less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, going back, listen to Bananas. We think about all the stuff. Like, it just seems like as the season goes on, there's a lot more downtime because they talked about a lot of downtime. Mm-hmm. Horacio and Olivia on Bananas podcast, where we always think like, no, it's like every like third day. We did the math. And then all of a sudden they're like, no, there's so much time sitting down. But like, again, going back to it, to bookend this, again, I will never have this argument with anyone. In Paramount Plus, they may watch it or whatever else, and they may be like, oh, it's easier. They may sugarcoat it a little bit, dumb it down. I don't say dumb it down, but water it down a little bit from what they have. But what if someone in your life is just like, oh, I can't believe you watch this. 3 hours, fast forward the commercials, watch this, and if they're like, nope, not for me, then they really don't like athleticism.
Right.
Because this has nothing to do with politicking or politicking in the final. What they did was pretty beyond impressive.
Yeah.
100 hours.
Mm-hmm. Lots of running.
Awesome. Straight. I mean, also.
Puzzles.
Yeah.
Avocado water.
Yeah, we say it all the time. Would you want to do it? I don't know. I wouldn't want to do the water. I wouldn't want to eat this. I wouldn't.
Shot now.
But I still would want to do it because I there's not a single time that I was like, nope, I'm out. I'd quit. I would go, I don't like that. Mm-hmm. 100 hours.
That's freaking crazy, man.
It is insane. Watch that. To anybody who sits there and says, like, nope, how dare you watch that stuff. Have them watch that. I'd say I challenge you. And if you still say no, then you're good. No pun intended, the challenge part. Yeah.
Oh, also, shout out to my husband's friend, Devin, from work, who just discovered our podcast and that it's about the show that he used to watch. He didn't even put it together.
Is it Devin or Devin's girlfriend that found the podcast? Either way.
Devin, and then his girlfriend, like Survivor. And, so Charlie's like, you got to watch this. And then they're like, he was talking about Bananas, and you're like, yeah, dude's still there. Yeah. Well, so I hope, Devin, I hope you watch the final.
Susie Q, though. You can't.
Oh my God. And Susie Q, you are, oh my God, we love you so much. Thank you so much for.
So listen, there'll be a break. That's true. But, I mean, if you guys, any of these challenge contestants want to hit up in the DM and you guys want to do a interview, I'm sure we can find some time.
God, we would love that.
To do this,
We would absolutely love that.
Bananas wants to come on and tell me I'm wrong for criticizing him, not the Cinder Blacks. You can do that, Bananas. And Nani, you can come in too. Devin, anytime you want to talk about how you played the perfect season, you can do that. Tori, would love to talk about everything you went through as well. Jordan, Anisa, how you should always be back. Hey, and we already had Olivia, but she can come back. She was fantastic.
Anytime.
And Horacio, any of you guys, come on. Would love to see you.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Well, that does it for season 38.
That's right.
Follow us on Twitter, Final Alliance 1, on Instagram, Final Alliance, on YouTube, we are Final Alliance Podcast. Please comment, subscribe. We'd love to hear what you have to say. And on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, we're Final Alliance Podcast. Thanks for watching.